So I've just been walking around the streets here in Mexico City, and one of the landscaping trees, not that one, but one of the landscaping trees here happened to have bees growing, these ice cream bean fruits, which is pretty interesting because I've been to, God, I don't know, 12 markets since I've been here. This is towards the end of my trip, and I haven't seen these anywhere, but I just passed by a tree and I just see these all over the ground. I'm like, oh, okay. So I knew that these grew here, but I figured maybe not in this region or they weren't in season. But apparently people don't really eat them so much, at least in Mexico City, or so I would believe. But they are a popular ornamental tree. My guess is that these might be the same species that I actually found recently in my city, in New York City, near my house. There's a shop that sells a lot of fruit that seems like it's been fruit-legged, like people brought it over the border illegally. So that would make sense because most of their fruit is coming from Mexico, I believe. The video I took of that fruit is gone because my laptop was stolen with that footage on it. I took a picture before I lost my laptop. This one looks different just because it is lumpy, and the other one was smooth, which might just be the ripeness of it, or it could be that it's a different species altogether. But it overall does look similar. I just foraged it, so there might be a few differences because of that. These are not grown for flavor, but let's see if it is still delicious. Inside, in case you don't remember my last video on the ice cream bean where I had 3 different species other than this one, they look like little cotton balls on the inside. So let me just take one of these guys out. Well, that's interesting. The seed on the inside is green, and the last ones that I had, all 3 species were black on the inside. The flesh comes off the seed rather easily. The texture isn't as good because it's very mealy. But again, this is not grown to be eaten. This was grown to be a landscaping plant, so I guess that makes sense. The flavor is still pretty good. The flavor is actually a little ice creamy. It's creamy and has a little bit of a vanilla kind of taste to it. But what's not as much as the gigantic one that I reviewed in Bolivia. That one, or Colombia, that one was very ice cream-like. This one is a little ice creamy, just because it does have a creamy taste, but the mealiness kind of takes away from that. It has a interesting taste to it though, which is a little bit like cinnamon. Vanilla ice cream with cinnamon in it. It kind of tastes like that. It's actually pretty good. The texture is not so good, and I'm going to say that's probably because of the soil conditions. Just being grown in Mexico City, whatever soil, rather than cultivated for the fruit. It's probably because of that. It didn't grow super properly, but despite that texture, the taste is actually quite good. It's got nice sweetness to it. It's not crazy sweet like candy or anything. Not as sweet as the ones I had before. I'd say maybe a 6 or 7 out of 10. A little bit sweeter than the sweetness you get from the sweetness you get from an apple. I love ice cream beans, and it's interesting to try another species of it. I'm not sure if I've had this one or not. It might be the one I had in New York, but just trying it picked wild like this, it is a little bit different just for the texture, but it does taste similar to it. So I'm not too sure, but yeah, always fun to find more ice cream beans laying around. Hey, so at the end of this video, there's going to be a preview of next week's fruit, so stay tuned for that. But first, business! I want to give a shout out to all of my Patreon supporters. Patreon is how this channel happens. So if you want to help me out by giving a completely voluntary contribution to my channel, check out the link that's around me right now or in the description below. Big shout out to the channel Smarter Every Day. They help me out a lot on Patreon, so if you haven't heard of them, check them out. I also have t-shirts for sale. These are available on my website, which are also in the link below. If you don't want to give me money, subscribe, bell, like, comment, any of that stuff. Alright, thanks so much guys. Bye.